So what are some of the more enjoyable things you get to work on?
You know, the nice romantic one is dealing with people. That can be fantastic and it can drive you nuts. But I think nothing beats the ability to see something for those years and years and years of effort. To see a product, to have something that you can touch and experience and look at and see, and other people touch and look at and experience, and all of that is by far the most rewarding. But then again, that can be really depressing too, because you think about it and think, oh, what a missed opportunity that was, or if only we'd have done this, or if only we'd have done that.
One of the best things is having the influence over a space that a lot of people can, hopefully enjoy. And I think too, just bringing together the idea and the pragmatics and trying to mesh that together to make that work. That's the day-to-day where I really kind of enjoy the profession. So
I enjoy what I'm doing at the moment, which is the site component, managing the build and getting to the point where you can actually see the physical result of what you've spent so much time working on, particularly if it has been a job that you've been on from the get-go. I do love the client aspect of things as well, being able to either meet new clients, talk with existing clients, chatting with people in the industry.
Funnily enough, I enjoy workshops and things. That's the genesis of a lot of ideas, is getting a group of people in a room with diverse thinking, having those stories told and just picking the threads out of them and going, okay, there's something unique because there's a theme here and a theme here, and you're really connecting dots and bringing things together and crystallising them when they didn't see any obvious answers. That's actually quite enjoyable, because you get those aha moments where you can then get on and do something that's really quite powerful.
The most rewarding thing is to see something be constructed on site. I like to see the end user happy with the result.
You experience, more often than not, other people's worlds. You're actually affecting their life, whether it be recreational or work or any other facet in their life, through their built environment. So, and I don't mean that by, influencing their built environment. Is that you get to understand what their profession is, or what their life is, or what their family situations are, and what their world looks like. For that, you need to be very much a person who can step into their shoes, even if it's just temporary. Step into their shoes and experience their life. And we might be doing projects that you have to imagine them, in that built environment that you're creating. So you get to experience most people's worlds, and then with that, you get to understand people a lot more, and a wider cross section of the population a lot more, and makes you a really well-rounded person to understand where people's mindsets are, and they're not in accordance with yours necessarily, and they've got different agendas and different political persuasions and different commercial agendas, etc.
I like seeing people enjoy a space. I'm always that annoying person. Whenever I go with my friends, we go to eat somewhere or to a bar or something, I go, oh, what a lovely bench top, and they go, oh my god, shut up, I don't care.
I've managed to land a job with a really, really good group of people, and everything that you do when you leave uni is pretty new. Probably one of the coolest experiences I've had so far is the completion of a project. So I did quite a lot of work on the Salisbury Community Hub, and that's finally completed. It's going through DLP at the moment. It's really, really cool to see something that you started out sketching and making these little foam models for actually built, finished, and people using it for its intended purpose.
Yes, you can come up with a floor plan, be like, okay, this joinery cupboard will go here, and the dining tables in that space and that kind of stuff. But the materials is like the things that make it look nice. I like getting materials in and then putting the two things that I thought would work together next to each other. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe not. Like, I'll put something else against it, and like, oh, this looks really good together. Feeling the materials, touching the materials.
It's often said that architects are jack of all trades and master of none. Probably masters of design in some ways, but you've got to have a hat for a lot of different roles. It's never kind of dull. I think that's the thing. You're not ever sitting at a desk and knowing exactly what you're going to be doing. It's going to be always changing, like no two projects are the same. So I think that's what I find really invigorating and enjoying.
Well, yeah, making a mess but trying to clean up.
Trying to create space for making finishes palettes. So pulling these sorts of things together, you need to pick out fabrics and carpets and floorboards and things like that. Beth, I don't know whether to keep them.
I know, I'm torn too. I think let's just keep them. Like, as long as we make this.
My sweet spot really is the beginnings of projects where we initiate workshops. So we'll run workshops with clients, ask lots of questions, take lots of notes, make them as interactive and collaborative as possible and fun. Create an environment that people feel comfortable in sharing their thoughts and ideas, insights into what their needs should be. We have to curate that information into a format that means something to us but also means something to them and enables us to take the next step to start to think about what a space might be.
That's the ceiling, so you would have to move that down. So height from offset should be 2. You will learn an awful lot from going for a site meeting with a builder and an engineer, and recognising the complexity of all the interlocking systems within a building, that you are supposedly supposed to be the master of all these things. And I think once you go into that process the first time, you realise that there's, outside of university, there's still a lot to learn. It's about stories, and it's about journeys, and it's about patterns of living, which is something that's really exciting and interesting to me personally. I give this feel to clients. They'll say, well, look, any house will work. Like, you can make any house work, but in reality, what you'll find is that throughout your day, you'll do dozens of different things. Some of them are really positive to your life and your family and your relationships. Some of those kind of patterns are really negative, and it's little things. The TV is too loud when you're eating dinner, or the kitchen is too small for 2 people to cook at once, or the bathroom doesn't have enough light, and so you constantly have to turn on and off lights. They sound like really banal things, but if you did spend 30 years of your life constantly turning on and off a light, or shouting at your kids for not doing it, it disrupts harmony, and it reduces the things that make people good. I mean, that's just on that level. I mean, you can have the same thing with, just the sustainability aspect of a house. The fact that you don't have to feel so bad every time you turn a light switch off, or that your heating is just generated by the sun, or that you don't constantly have to clean the dust because you constantly have to open windows if you're living in a passive house. Those aspects of lifestyle, the fact that I can help create people's journeys and patterns of life through creating something that's a little bit more tailored to them, and listening to their story and interpreting that and taking that and putting it into a built form as best I can within descriptions of budget and style and all those things that go with that. That's what I really love about what I do. That's why I like doing it. That stories aspect is about that communication. It's about not only pushing information out, it's about taking information in.
I like working with everybody here. We're all sort of handpicked to start together with the guys. I really just enjoy my day here and working with everybody in the office. It's an awesome team, and we just gel, which makes coming to work really good.
That's the best thing about architecture, is that it varies from day to day and project to project as well. So some projects you're working on something that's quite large, and then if you go into something quite small, it's quite freeing to be able to kind of work at different scales as well.
Space and the ability to be able to occupy it and use stuff, fields and stuff like
so
that.
That's 9 metres, so we need 10 metres. So to be something like
the 500 mil is to minus a little bit. Just working through that at the moment. But
Chris, when you say there's no handrails or balustrades, what would happen along?
That would
Again, it's like music. If you don't finish it and you don't get it done, so you can stand back and listen to it or look at it or experience it and critique it, you're never going to develop. You don't really learn from your successes, but you learn from your mistakes. Maybe you do. Maybe you learn what works well, but I think you learn quicker by learning what not to do. That kind of contributes to the constant learning of the job, which is also another real benefit. You never stop learning. In fact, the more you do it, I think the more you learn, the more you realise you don't know. Yeah. And you start learning different things outside of architecture. You start learning about psychology and people's personalities and their decision-making processes, and you start learning about politics and how decisions are made in government or how they're made in large corporations. You start to understand why people behave the way they do. You just never stop learning, man. It's just constant, and it's really, really rewarding because of that. Yeah.